Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Habits of Health Tuesday night training, our Tuesday night Habits of Health class. My name is Rick Green. I am a certified health coach, and we're going to be hearing tonight from a couple of people, Dr. Buddie Allen and Rick Swank. We're going to be talking about, on week 3, the difference between motivation as far as conflict-driven motivation and what you really want as far as the outcome. So I'm going to share a little picture here of Rick when he was before he started his journey, and he's going to talk to us about what has happened. So, Rick, if you can see that, those are your pictures up there. They're wonderful. Rick, would you like to tell
Thank
us
you.
about that?
I would. Thank you for letting me be on the program this evening on week 3 of the Habits of Health. My story is I've spent most of my adult life in the construction business, traveling all over the country doing commercial flooring installations, and that kept me fairly fit. But after 3 knee surgeries, I took a desk job. And sitting at a desk for 5 years, I slowly put on uh, quite a little bit of extra weight, and I always had a dream of running again. I did a lot of that when I was younger in high school, and so I wanted to see if I could do it again. So I started running and exercising. I was probably going to the gym 4 or 5 days a week, so I was working out and pretty serious about it. I kept getting, a little bit more fit all the time, but I wasn't losing any weight, and I knew I needed to lose the weight. And I did several of the races, and finally decided, a year and a half ago, I really needed to get serious about losing the weight. And so uh, my wonderful wife, Charlotte's been involved with Take Shape for Life for a long time, and she kept saying you need to change your fuel instead of the exercise if you want to lose that weight. So I got involved with the program and lost about 43 pounds in 3 months, and I wanted to lose that for the race last year, and I knew they weren't going to put off the race, so I was pretty motivated to get the weight off. So I really stuck with the program and followed the exercise program pretty well. And race time came, and I got to actually run the race with Dr. Allen, which was fun. And but I lost the weight, and I knocked 18 minutes off my time. So now I enjoy bicycling quite a little bit. I've done 300-mile bicycle races, and so the program's been very, very good to me and improved my health a lot. I have a much better outlook for the rest of my life, and it's been wonderful.
Well, that's excellent. Thank you for sharing that with us. And so you had a competitor there. Dr. Allen was your competitor. So that's even a cooler thing to have happen too. So you got in shape and was able to run Roby Creek. That's awesome.
Yes,
But
we had a great time together.
Yeah, and I promise you, I was no competition for him. He blew right by me.
awesome.
He blew right by me.
Well, now I would think that that makes you feel pretty good now, Rick, and I appreciate you coming on and sharing that with us. Dr. Allen, are you ready to get into the program this evening?
I am ready as I'm going to be.
All right.
And, yeah, I'll tell you what, that run was because running to me is something that is more like a punishment. And I kind of signed up for that on a whim, half thinking I wouldn't get in. And lucky me, I got in, and yeah, it was definitely an interesting experience, to say the least. So it was a good experience, but certainly not my most favorite thing to do. All right, I need to click this here, share my screen. Maybe. Very nice computer. All right, I think I am. There we are. We are up and running. So I actually love this particular lesson. And the reason being is that the title here is, it's all about choices, and the choice is what makes it special. All right. The wonderful thing about where we're all at right now is that we have the choice to change where we're at. No matter where we've been, or maybe we've been overweight or unhealthy or sick or injured, or we've been battling something our entire life. It doesn't matter. The fantastic thing about our bodies is as soon as we start doing things correctly, our body responds in a positive way. And so, and really it all starts with this here. It's about making the choice. A lot of us want, I think, in fact, I kind of think everybody wants to be the best version of themselves, okay? They want to look as good as they can look, feel as good as they can feel, be as healthy as they can be. They want success. There's a lot of things that people want, but it comes down to making that choice that I'm going to do what it takes to actually achieve it or acquire it or develop it. And so it's kind of funny that this is the week that fell upon me to teach, because I was just reading in a book, just so you guys can all see it. This book right here called The Compound Effect. I don't know if you guys have read it or not. It's a fantastic book, especially if you're diving into the program and you're in the middle of it right now. It is all about making the little changes over a long period of time to make that just massive difference in your life. It's a wonderful book, and there's a few things I wanted to read from it before we really dive into the PowerPoint. And I'm just going to read a little bit here. It says, "We all come into this world the same, naked, scared, and ignorant. After the grand entrance, the life we end up with is simply an accumulation of all the choices we make. Our choices can be our best friend or our worst enemy. They can deliver us to our goals or send us orbiting into a galaxy far, far away. Think about it. Everything in your life exists because you first made a choice about something. Choices are at the root of every one of your results. Each choice starts a behavior that over time becomes a habit. Choose poorly, and you might just find yourself back at the drawing board. Forced," and now this part I think is pretty important, "forced to make new, often harder choices. Don't choose at all, and you've made the choice to be the passive receiver of whatever comes your way. In essence, you make your choices, and then your choices make you. Every decision, no matter how slight, alters the trajectory of your life." All right? Making the choice is what makes it special, because you get to determine where you go. You're not allowing something else to dictate where you have to respond to it. All right? There's one last thing I wanted to share that I think is pretty fantastic. And the title of this chapter is said, "Elephants Don't Bite." And so it says, "Have you ever been bitten by an elephant? How about a mosquito? It's the little things in life that will bite you." All right? And then he goes on to talk about, every now and again we make big blundering mistakes, right? We do dumb things. But when you really dive down into it and you really start looking at, some of those mistakes, usually they are set up by a sequence of a whole bunch of tiny little things. And the last thing I wanted to read was this. It says, "For most of us, it's the frequent, small, and seemingly inconsequential choices that are often of grave concern. I'm talking about the decisions you think don't make any difference at all. It's the little things that inevitably and predictably derail your success." All right, so right now, as we start, we're in the beginning of this 12-week program. We're in the beginning of where most people are just getting started. They're just getting their head in the game of wanting to be healthier, and it's really necessary and important that we make the choice. If we haven't made the choice, then every day is going to be difficult. And every time something gets hard, it's going to be really easy to stop and to give up on ourselves. So make the choice now that you want to be healthier. And if you haven't sat down and talked about this with your coach or the person who invited you on this program, make sure you do so, because having someone to help keep you accountable is critical. All right, so diving into this here, excuse me, as we start making choices, it's important for us to kind of understand what our the motivating factors in our life are. Most of us have been conditioned, or we've kind of learned to be more conflict driven. Okay, so being conflict driven is something we're trying to get away from something that's nasty. How many of us, and obviously you don't have to raise your hands, but how many of us started the program because we didn't like what we saw in the mirror? We were dangerous, our blood sugars were really high, we're maybe borderline diabetic, our cholesterol's high, maybe we had a heart attack, maybe someone we know just died of a heart attack or had a heart attack, and it scared us. All right, that is being conflict driven. We are reacting to something, something negative. Okay, our goal is to, in this process of making the choice of, yes, I want to be healthy and I'm going to do what it takes, what we want to do is we want to make sure we start becoming a more desired outcome focused or routine oriented. We want to focus on something that we're trying to create. Okay, so, and it's a very positive thing. So with respect to getting healthy or losing weight, it's not I'm trying to lose 40 pounds or 50 pounds. It's I want to be able to, like in the case of Rick, I want to be able to run again. I want to be able to go and go hunting and climb the mountains without, gasping for air every 10 steps. I want to live a more full and fulfilled life. Okay. So these here are just some diagrams to kind of show us this sequence here. This is the yo-yo cycle. All right. With respect to weight. Okay. When something happens, we have high blood pressure. Again, we're overweight. We hate what we see in the mirror. So we start taking some action. And what happens is, because, the more action we take, we start losing a little bit of weight. We start feeling a little bit better. And before you know it, there's not a lot of conflict there anymore. So our motivation to act starts going away. So there's less action. And when there's less action, we start returning to our original behaviors. And before you know it, we're back to where we started. Again, that yo-yo cycle of up and down. This here is, you'll notice we have this arrow. Here's where we're starting down here low at the current reality. We want to shoot towards something and continue to move in a positive direction. So it's more of a goal-oriented or something that we're looking to create. What kind of life, what kind of activities am I going to do? All right, now, and this little quote I think is kind of funny from Mark Twain. The only way to keep your health is to eat what you don't want, drink what you don't like, and do what you'd rather not. And I know it's kind of funny and it's kind of a cute little thing, but really, a lot of times we feel that way because we either haven't made a choice, or we've connected the wrong associations. Most of us, we think about if we think about the gym, going to the gym, or exercise, or eating a salad as opposed to a pizza or something. There's certain things that are like, oh, that's hard, that's difficult, it's painful. Whereas on the other side, we're like, oh, ice cream, that makes me happy. Pizza, that makes me happy. Sitting on the couch watching TV, ooh, that's nice. So that's a pleasure. We kind of associate that with pleasure. Okay, when we start making choices and we start doing, when we're functioning on a fundamental choice that we're working towards, something that's very important to us, and we set good initial goals, these primary choices, and then we follow up with the daily choices that lead us that direction, we start to make better associations with the things that make us feel good, the things that make us feel success and feel like we're winning. And so that's what we're trying to do, is change those associations. Eventually, when you're healthy, guess what? It feels pretty good to be able to get out and run, to lift weights, or to play sports, or to do things that require your ability to get out and move. It's a lot less fun to be crippled up because you can't do something because you're not healthy enough to do so. We want you to start looking and thinking about the things you want to do when you get to your healthy place. Dr. Anderson's quote here is wonderful. It says, most of us have been raised to react to circumstances. We haven't been taught to believe that we can adopt a fundamental, self-generated resolve. But in fact, that is how we take charge of our lives. By realizing that no matter the circumstances, no matter the temptation, we can do what we know is right because we've taken a stand for the choice we hold most important. Okay? What's most important to you? Why do you want to be healthier? It's okay that you want to be healthier because you want to look better. It's okay that you want to be healthier because you don't want to inject yourself with insulin or take medications. Those are wonderful things, but what is it going to allow you to experience that you can't experience right now? And what limitations is it going to take away? All right, fundamental choices. So understanding what these choices are. The fundamental choice is essentially, these are just examples, things that you won't bend on. Life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness, your family, the relationships you have with your wife and children or your significant others, your freedom, your health. There's a lot of things that are very, that we're very, very attached to. They're the things that we don't budge on, okay? Primary choice is kind of like a short-term goal. So if, for instance, in weight loss, a primary choice would be, I want to be able to, my goal is maybe to lose 50 pounds. But also at the same time, it's like, what are the other things that are going to be associated with that? But, so it's kind of the short-term goals. And then the secondary choices are going to be the things. So if my goal is to lose 50 pounds and to be able to run, and I'll give an example here at the end of exactly how this kind of lays out in structure. But basically, the secondary goals are going to support those things that are going to lead towards, they're going to move us closer to this primary or this initial goal that we have. All right. Now, through the process of this program and this 12-week program that we're talking about right now, the Habits of Health, there are foundations of health that we want to make sure people understand. Eating healthy is a foundation of health. You can't, even if you lose 100 pounds by eating healthy for, 6 months, if you stop eating healthy, your health will go away. You will put weight back on. You will once again become unhealthy. Okay? Getting to a healthy weight and staying there, having a good healthy waist size. That allows our bodies to function the way they were designed to function on every level. Okay? An active lifestyle. Healthy people live a very active lifestyle. They get out and experience the wonderful things that this world has to offer. They have good reparative and recuperative sleep. They learn to relax. They learn to enjoy, go out and do fun things and do the things that help, make them happy and make them feel good and just kind of let stress off of their mind. They create good environments for themselves. They have good, they create a good well-being, purpose, and depth to their life. And then the last part, and really probably the most critical, is they surround themselves in an amazing supportive system that really supports the life that they're trying to lead. Now, identifying sometimes it's difficult to really figure out what is my goal? Well, I don't know what I want. I'm not sure what I want because, it's been so long since I felt good. I don't even know what that would be like. Okay, there's a lot of folks where they don't even know where to begin. So to do that, there's a few things that you want to do. Okay, first of all, if you have to look at old pictures of yourself or go through magazines, what do you want to look like and how do you want to feel? Start creating a mental picture of what you're working towards. Quantify your goals. Okay, by quantifying, don't just say, oh, I want to lose weight. I want to feel better. I want to do more. Okay, those are terribly vague, and there's nothing that you can actually say, I'm actually moving that way. To quantify it, we want to basically just say, listen, and my initial goal is I do want to lose 50 pounds, but I want to be able to fit into a size 34 waist. I want to be able to run a mile in 10 minutes or less. I want to be able to play with my kids at the end of the day and have the energy to do so. Okay, so being very specific of what you're trying to do, and that's how we avoid those comparative terms. Also, with this quantifying is you want to put dates and you want to give yourself a time frame that you're working towards. Okay, when we squeeze ourselves a little bit and we give we put a little pressure on ourselves, a lot of times when we're under a little pressure, we start to perform at a higher level. We push ourselves to be a little bit better. So make sure, give yourself dates. You might want to lose 50 pounds, and maybe that's 6 months from now. Okay, or maybe in a year from now, you want to be able to run that Roby Creek like Rick did. So just kind of make sure you're being very specific to what you want to do, and then giving yourself a time frame to be able to accomplish that in. Make sure you're focusing on what you're creating and the wonderful things that you're trying to accomplish, as opposed to solving problems. Again, we're trying to get away from that yo-yo cycle of solving problems. And then when you describe the results, make sure you really describe that as opposed to the process of what you're doing. Okay, and the secondary choices, again, those are really, when you have a clear picture of what you're actually trying to create, the secondary choices are a lot easier to do. So that's actually the day-to-day strategy that you apply to be able to get to your goal. So you want to stay on program. You want to stay on the 5 and 1. You want to drink all the water. Make sure you're getting enough sleep. Start moving more. Okay, spend less time watching television. Start giving give yourself actions that you're going to do, and and again, even with those, you want to be give yourself time frames that you want to do them by. Like I mentioned before in the beginning, that the stuff that I read, those little choices that we make over time can either lead us towards an amazingly healthy, wonderful life, or before you know it, they will sneak up on us, and we're really living a very unfulfilling, poor. We feel bad. We don't feel, we have no energy. We don't live a very fulfilling life. Okay, and it sneaks up on us. But it's those little choices over time that makes a tremendous difference. The wonderful part is it's never too late. All right, so right here, this is kind of an example, and I'm going to share this with you. In little pieces. So up at the very top, this is a good actually, hold on, let me go. Yeah, that's what I wanted to do. So a good primary goal. This is from Dr. Anderson. He says, listen, my optimal fitness goal is I'm fit with great aerobic stamina, 14% body fat, lean muscle, plenty of flexibility and agility, and the ability at 55 to do all the things I could do at 25. Do you see how specific he is with that goal? He's not just saying, I want to be able to run, and I want to lose a little weight, and I want to be able to walk around the block. He's very specific. Now, his current reality, where he's actually starting from, is he just reached his healthy weight, and he's starting to walk more. Now, the foundational components are, so that foundational choice, the things that are really important to him, he wants to have an active lifestyle. He wants to make sure that he's setting good goals of adding muscle. Okay, the secondary choices that are going to lead him there are: he's walking 10 minutes a day for 2 weeks. He's walking 30 minutes a day beginning in a week. Stretching daily, light calisthenics, light weightlifting. So he's being very specific at the things he's going to do that are going to help move him closer to that goal right there. And then putting it all together, really, we are trying to create. Here's what if I could leave everyone with one big takeaway. This picture up here of what you're creating, making the choice to be healthy, you have to remember there's going to be plenty of tough days in between, but you're going to love who you are when you get there. You will not find a single person that gets to their goal weight that is healthy. They can see their abs. They can see their toes. Plenty of people will be happy just seeing their toes. But really, when you get to that goal and you like what you see in the mirror and you like how you feel and you've just accomplished an amazing feat feet and getting healthier, moving from a bad place to a very positive place, you will love how you feel. Matter of fact, a lot of times when we're not healthy, we like to find clothes that make us look good. When you get to this right here, you could wear whatever the heck you want. You're going to make the clothes look good, not the other way around. And you're going to feel good about it because you did it. You made the decision that this is where I'm going. I'm done where I'm at. Here's where I'm going, and you did it. The decision is what makes it special. So make the choice today that nothing's turning you around. Once you've made that choice, it makes all of these other choices in between very easy to follow through with. So this week, figure out what you're going to do, make the decision, and then start plugging in. And if you need help, which I would recommend you do, sit down with your coach, talk with someone, walk through the process, get a clear game plan of where you're going and what you're doing to get there, and then just follow it. Don't fight it. Don't stress over it. Just do it. You don't have to believe it, but if you do it and you follow the program, you'll get to your goals, and you're going to absolutely love it. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Thank you for having me on. Like I said, this is one of my more favorite topics to talk about, is making that choice to just make you the best version of you that you can be.
Well, Dr. Allen, thank you so much for coming in this evening. As well, we do have the structural tension chart available to anyone that wants a copy of that. It's also available on Dr. Anderson's website, thehabitsofhealth.net. And we will also have it posted in the Habits of Health connection so that you can download that and fill it out as well. So with that, I think we've pretty well got it wrapped up now that we understand what our primary, secondary choices are, and our fundamental choice. It should be like life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And that way, it's going to become very, very important to the individual so that they can really move their health forward and get out of where they're at so that they can feel better about themselves, look better, and have more an active lifestyle. Well, thank you, Dr. Allen. I'd like to also thank Rick Swank for participating tonight and giving us his before and after story. It was wonderful, and hopefully he'll improve his time this next year and running Ruby Creek again. With that, I'd like to say good night to everyone, and thanks for stopping by. Again, next week, same time, 6:30 Pacific, and we'll have week 4. Thank you.
Have a good night.
You bet. Good night.